So we are starting off today's episode with a short written by Mr. Midnight. It is titled Zombie Dog. Let's dive right in. The mist rolled heavy through the forest, crawling low along the tangled roots and mossy earth. The trees were skeletal in the dim light, their bare branches clawing at the sky. Something stirred in that silence, something more primal than the owls, more dangerous than the wolves. It was hunger. Pure, rotting hunger. The creature that stalked the woods had once been a dog. Once it had been loyal, strong, perhaps even loved. But whatever curse had taken it now had stripped away fur and flesh alike, leaving green-tinged skin stretched too tight over bones, and glowing eyes that radiated nothing but emptiness. Its breath stank of decay, its tongue lolled crimson with blood not its own, and each movement carried the sound of tearing sinew. The locals called it the zombie dog, a name whispered at taverns and around campfires. To most, it was a story told to frighten children into staying near the hearth after dark. But to others, the ones who had seen the hollow tracks pressed deep into the soil, or who had found livestock torn to ribbons, it was more than a tale. It was a warning. The first sighting. It was Elias Grimm, the woodsman, who first claimed to have seen it. He returned from a night of hunting pale as ash, shaking as if winter's frost had gripped him by the heart. He muttered of eyes glowing in the fog, of a massive dog stalking him, its body half dead, half alive. His neighbors dismissed it, saying Elias had drunk too much mead or mistaken a starving wolf for something worse. But Elias swore he had loosed an arrow into its chest, and the beast had not bled. It had not fallen. Instead, it had growled, a sound so guttural it made his bones rattle, before vanishing into the mist. Not long after, Elias was found dead outside his cabin, his door clawed to splinters. His body was mauled, but not devoured, as if the creature had killed not for food, but for sport. A town on edge. The village of Greymire lived in constant shadow, surrounded by endless forests, with the swamp to the north and the mountains cutting off the south. It was already a place of hardship. But after Elias's death, dread became as common as the damp air. Cattle disappeared. Children swore they heard growling near the well. Hunters returned without game, claiming the forest itself had grown silent. The blacksmith, Dern, was the first to call it by name. He told the others of an old tale his grandfather had shared, of a hound buried in a cursed graveyard centuries ago, one that clawed its way back to the world of the living. A dog twisted by plague and sorcery, feeding only on flesh, yet never finding peace. A dog that would roam until someone bound its spirit again. The people laughed nervously at first, but then came the night of the miller's farm. The farm massacre. The millers had a herd of goats, stubborn creatures that bleated all hours, much to the annoyance of their neighbors. One night, their cries rose in terror, echoing across the valley. By dawn, the miller's farmstead was painted red. The goats were torn apart, entrails strung across the yard like ribbons. The barn doors hung loose, claw marks gouged deep into the wood. And the millers themselves. They were found huddled together in the corner of their home, as if trying to protect one another, their faces frozen in terror, their bodies ripped and chewed. Only the youngest daughter, Eliza, survived, found hiding in a barrel. She swore she had seen a giant, rotting dog with glowing eyes. After that, no one doubted the legend. The hunter arrives word spread beyond Greymire, carried by travellers and merchants, and so it reached a man named Corin Vey, a wanderer who hunted creatures most thought belonged only to nightmares. Corin was tall, cloaked in dark leather, reinforced with iron studs. His eyes bore the weight of too many battles, and the long scar running from his temple to his jaw told of close calls with things best left unspoken. He carried silver blades, vials of strange powders, and charms carved with runes from forgotten tongues. When he arrived, the villagers gathered to plead with him. Some begged him to leave the cursed thing alone, fearing it would bring worse doom if provoked. Others demanded he kill it. desperate for relief. Corin listened in silence, then asked only one question. "Where does it roam at night?" "Into the woods." That evening, Corin entered the forest. The mist thickened as if trying to swallow him whole. He followed the trail of rot, the stench of blood leading deeper into the ancient trees. Every so often he saw claw marks gouged into bark or bones scattered across the ground. Ravens watched him from the branches, their black eyes reflecting faint light. Then came the growl, low, guttural, vibrating through the ground itself. The sound of hunger made flesh. The zombie dog emerged from the shadows, massive and foul. Its skin hung in tatters, muscles twitching with unnatural life. Its collar, studded with rusted spikes, clung to its neck like a relic from its forgotten past. Its eyes glowed green, burning through the mist. Corin did not flinch. He whispered a charm under his breath, drawing one of his silvered blades. "Come then, beast," he said. "Let's see if the dead can bleed." The battle. The dog lunged, a blur of muscle and decay. Its jaws snapped, teeth like daggers aimed for Corin's throat. He rolled aside, slashing at its flank. The blade cut deep, but instead of blood, a black ichor oozed, hissing as it hit the ground. The creature howled, shaking the trees, then turned, snarling. Again and again it lunged, and again Corin struck, each blow landing but never slowing it. The thing did not die, could not die, not by steel alone. Corin realized then what he faced. This was not merely a beast, but a curse given form. He reached into his pouch, pulling free a vial of ash mixed with salt and herbs. With a sharp cry, he hurled it into the monster's face. The mixture burned like fire, and the dog reeled back, howling in fury. Its eyes flickered, dimming for the first time. "Show me your grave," Corin muttered. "Show me where you came from." As if compelled, the beast fled, vanishing into the mist. Corin followed. The graveyard. The chase ended at an ancient graveyard, long forgotten, hidden deep in the forest. Crumbling stones leaned at odd angles, inscriptions eroded by time. At the center stood a single massive headstone, split down the middle. The ground there was disturbed, as if something had clawed its way out. The zombie dog stood guard, snarling, its body trembling with rage. Corin planted his feet, chanting words older than the village itself. He drew a circle in the dirt with salt, lit a black candle, and drove a silver spike into the earth. The dog lunged one final time, but this time the circle held. The air crackled as the curse fought back, the creature thrashing, snapping its jaws mere inches from Corin's throat. Its body convulsed, glowing brighter, then dimmer. With one final thunderous howl, it collapsed into dust and bone. Only the collar remained, rusted and broken, lying atop the grave. Aftermath, Corin returned to Greymire carrying the collar. He told the villagers the beast was gone, its spirit bound once more. But he warned them to keep the grave sanctified, to never forget what had dwelled in their forest. Some wept with relief, others doubted still. Yet as seasons passed, the killings ceased and the mist seemed a little less heavy. Children played near the well again. Farmers slept without fear. Still, on certain nights, when the fog grew thick and the forest fell silent, some swore they could hear it. A growl, low and hungry. Waiting epilogue. Years later, long after Corin had left and Greymire had faded into obscurity, travellers passing through the forest told strange tales. Of glowing eyes in the mist, of bones found picked clean, and of a collar, rusted and broken, lying half buried in the dirt, fresh claw marks gouged all around it. The zombie dog had never truly rested. It never would.